Hello and welcome. My name is Simon and I have to show you how I made my enamel canal ring. First, I need to bend my ring blank that is supposed to be a bit thinner, but the end measurement of the ring blank is 60mm long, 4mm wide and 1mm thick. This will make the ring size approximately 57. I end up with these measurements by taking the thickness of the blank, multiplying it by 3.14 and adding that to the size of the ring. I bend it until the ends connect, then solder the ring using a small piece of solder 5 under it. I have to solder the whole ring using hard solder, enamel solder, or as we call it, solder 5. Because if I use any weaker, it will just melt in the oven. After that, I'll have to repeat the process with the outer rings, but since I need an extra millimeter on the inside, I will measure them a size or two down. I ended up going for a size 55, so I cut down the rings at 58mm and filed the ends down. Bending these were a much bigger chore, since I had to bend the thickest part of the rings. I used a heavy-duty ring bender and kept going at it until the ends met. I had to bang the ends from the top to force them a bit closer. Then after soldering the outer rings, I had to try to hammer them flat and sand them down to the right measurement. Then it's on to assembly. Put the thickest ring at the bottom while soldering the main ring to the outer ones, doing it one at a time. First applying flux to the inside rim, heating it up so the rings stick to each other. Then carefully put small pieces of solder on the inside rim, heating up the whole thing to make sure the solder flow properly, making sure that they heat up both rings evenly. After each ring is soldered, I put them in acid and brush them with a brass wire wheel to remove any gunk. Then I flip the ring around and repeat the process. After that I'll have to sand down the outer rings again and then remove any excess silver on the inside and outside of the ring using a special rubber wheel on my micromotor. Now it's time for the enameling. I coat the inside of the canal with enamel glue and then fill it with damp enamel. The type of enamel I'm using is just a random mix of different types of enamel. Then I put it in the oven at about 800 degrees Celsius and leave it for about 3 minutes or until the enamel melts. Then I take it out and apply more in whatever cracks is formed, repeating this until the can is properly filled, because the enamel starts flowing a tiny bit when it starts melting, so it starts to form cracks at the top. It's properly melted, it was a bit overflowing, so I had to grind down most of it with a whetstone using water and gloves to keep myself safe from any annoying glass powder. After I got the enamel down to the right thickness, I took out the rubber wheel again and removed whatever was left on the sides and inside of the ring. I'm also using a mask here to protect my lungs. Then I moved over to polishing, starting at a coarse grinding wheel and moving over to a more finer polishing wheel after all the sanding lines were removed. I lost this footage, but it's a pretty straightforward process. You can just follow what I'm doing with the rubber wheel, but with the finer wheels on the micromotor. There's the ring. Hope the video was informative. Thanks for watching.